Hey guys, what's up? With the launch of the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus and the Note 8 already in the market, it's time to compare the two giants from the biggest companies in the smartphone industry. Let's get started. Before we jump into the comparison, we've already unboxed the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus and also the Note 8. And if you guys haven't already checked out those videos, I'll drop them in the description below so that you guys can go check those out. Now, as far as the design goes, there is no doubt that the Samsung Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus are one of the most beautiful looking smartphones of 2017, and the Note 8 just stems from that. This design is absolutely the most, if not one of the most beautiful looking designs of 2017, and every smartphone maker should aspire to come close to this design. With that being said, still a lot more phones have yet to launch in the market, including the iPhone X, which might change opinions like these for a lot of people. But for now, the Note 8 definitely has a lot more premium design thanks to its glass front and back that fuses into the edges with the curved edges on the phone. You also have this gorgeous 18.5:9 aspect ratio display that covers most of the front of the phone, making it look a lot more gorgeous than the iPhone 8 Plus. The phone also is premium because of the use of high quality materials, and with a lot of heft into it, the phone feels great in the hand without looking too clunky or bulky like previous generation Note devices. The iPhone 8 Plus, on the other hand, should have ideally been called the iPhone 7s Plus because the design is identical to the iPhone 7 Plus with minor change. The back has a glass panel now instead of an all-metal back, which also allows for wireless charging. Now, even though on pictures the phone didn't look as great, but the minute you hold the phone in your hand, it looks extremely premium and feels extremely premium. Apple claims that this is the best glass that they've put on a phone ever, and design and the finish of the phone make it look a lot better than it did on pictures, but it's still nowhere near the premium and the good-looking design of the Note 8, so Samsung definitely takes it in terms of design. As far as build quality is concerned, both phones are extremely well built with premium materials. The iPhone 8 Plus does have an IP67 water resistance rating, as does the Note 8 with an IP68 water resistance rating. So these phones ideally will last you a really long time. Now, the biggest and the most important aspects of the Note 8 is the display, with this impressive 18.5:9 Super AMOLED display with a Quad HD Plus resolution. The colors are absolutely spot on with a good reproduction of black and an impressive 1200 nits of brightness, making the display great indoors as well as out. The iPhone LCD display, even though on spec is still a 1920 by 1080p display, is a lot different from the previous generation iPhone 7 Plus display. This new display shows true colors, which is a lot more impressive than I initially thought, and it also has HDR, which makes the viewing experience a lot better. But in comparison to, again, the Note 8 display, the iPhone 8 Plus falls short of impressing me with the kind of quality, with a low brightness in comparison to the Note 8, and those fat bezels, the chin, the forehead, and the sides, not allowing you to feel like you're holding a phone from 2017. Now, the iPhone 8 Plus runs iOS 11, which has a new faster operating capability along with a new file system that allows for better compression and a lot more storage than you initially had with the iOS 10 on the iPhone 7 Plus. The Galaxy Note 8 does run Android Nougat, but will be updated to Android Oreo by the end of the year, claims Samsung. But you do get some interesting new features. You also get Samsung Pay that works mostly everywhere in the world now, and Bixby Voice also started rolling out to many countries, including India recently. Apple is still missing things like Apple Pay in India, but comparison of iOS with Android is essentially a comparison of apples and oranges, and that I will leave to personal preference. So whatever you prefer out of these is essentially what you should be looking at. Now, the cameras are really big on both of these phones. The Samsung Galaxy Note 8 with the first dual camera setup from Samsung, allowing for really impressive pictures on the device. The display on the phone makes those pictures look absolutely gorgeous, even though on most panels they might not look that great, but on the Samsung Note 8 itself, the display makes those images look absolutely fantastic thanks to it being a really accurate Super AMOLED display. The iPhone 8 Plus, on the other hand, also receives the highest rating from DxOMark. Whether you like to believe that or not is up to you again, but the cameras are really impressive, and some of the pictures that we took from these cameras are really mind-blowing and something that one would not expect from a smartphone camera, but these cameras are delivering. Now, personal preference will be different for each of these devices, so here are a bunch of pictures from both the iPhone and the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. You can be the judge of which one is better. The dual cameras on both the iPhone 8 Plus and the Note 8 allow you to take some really interesting pictures. They do have the depth effect, but the iPhone 8 Plus does allow for some new studio lighting effects. If used properly, they can give some really nice results. Here is a picture of me in the monochrome stage effect. But what's great about the way the iPhone stores these images is that you can go back into the image and then change around the studio lighting effect. So in case you clicked a picture with the monochrome stage effect, but want to later change it to a different effect, you can do that on the image itself. On the Galaxy Note 8, you get a similar functionality, but only with the focus capabilities. So the image is stored with all the background information, and then later on you can adjust the blur and then save it as a new picture. Both the cameras on both the iPhone 8 Plus and Note 8 are worthy of 2017, and they give you a really good result from the camera itself. Now here is where it gets interesting. The iPhone 8 Plus now captures 4K video at 60 frames per second. That makes it absolutely mind-blowing. Not a lot of phones, in fact not a lot of cameras can do that today, but the iPhone 8 Plus does that thanks to the new file system being used by Apple. And just because of that, some of the footage that you get from the iPhone 8 Plus looks absolutely mind-blowing, and we in fact use some of that footage in the Apple Watch unboxing. So if you guys haven't already seen that, I'll leave a link to that in the description below as well. The Note 8 on the other hand does capture 4K video, but at 30 frames per second, which on a 60 frames per second video will look choppy, but if your whole video is 30 frames per second, you'll barely make out that difference. If you do have an eye for detail, the 60p or the 60 frames per second will definitely make a whole world of a difference for your viewing experience, and I plan to use the video on the iPhone 8 Plus a lot more than I initially thought. What's also interesting is that with the iPhone 8 Plus, you can use the dual lenses to create a lossless zoom. If you have a really well lit environment like this one, you can use the button to zoom in smoothly. In fact, it looks like an optical zoom going in smoothly from 1x to 2x, and then you can go up to 3x on video. But on the Samsung Galaxy Note 8, when you try to jump in to video with the zoom capabilities, it just quickly jumps from 1x to 2x, just one camera to the other, which makes the video experience, or especially the video capture experience, a lot more jerky or shaky. I personally find the video on the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 not to be as good as the video on the iPhone 8 Plus, and that also has a big advantage of the 4K at 60 frames per second, which also makes me biased towards the iPhone 8 Plus. The front camera, however, is a different story altogether. The Samsung Galaxy Note 8 has an extremely wide front camera that is amazing for taking selfies and getting a whole lot of people in your selfies, and also a whole lot of detail in the background. So if you travel a lot and you want to take pictures of monuments with your face in it, the front-facing camera is really good for that. You also get up to 2K video recording capabilities from that, whereas the iPhone 8 Plus with its narrow field of view camera only captures 1080p video. However, front pictures on both of them are equally impressive. If you ignore the wide-angle capability of the Samsung Galaxy Note 8, images on both these devices are good, and if you plan to use the front camera, you can pick either. Again, this is going to be a choice. Whether you want a wider lens and 2K video recording capabilities, the Note 8 is definitely going to be a better pick. Now here is where everything stops, and the iPhone 8 Plus completely shines like a diamond in comparison to Galaxy Note 8. It absolutely throws it or blows it out of the water with the kind of performance that we got. Apple has done something really impressive with the A11 Bionic chip, and with performance results on Geekbench equivalent to a MacBook that can easily handle 4K renders, the 4K 60p capable A11 chip is what makes this phone really impressive and powerful. The benchmark scores are almost double that of that found on the Note 8, making this phone an absolute performance monster. Now you do get that impressive operating system and the new impressive file system improving benchmark scores. In fact, the iPhone 7 Plus with the new iOS 11 installed gives a better score than that on the Note 8. So that is something that you guys need to look at. Consider if you want really pure performance, iOS 11 on either the iPhone 7 Plus or even the 8 Plus will give you a whole lot more performance than what is found on the Galaxy Note 8, and that's purely out of benchmark. But the new A11 chip with all new architecture is definitely capable thanks to the 6-core setup that runs simultaneously versus the dual quad-core setup found on the Note 8 in either the Exynos or the A35 Qualcomm chipset. Now, one feature that the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 hides under its belly is the new S Pen. Now, of course, the Note devices are known for the S Pen, and the Note 8 doesn't hide back. Both the phone and the S Pen are IP68 rated, so individually you can drop them in water and nothing will happen to them, which is absolutely fantastic. You also get a whole bunch of capability that you can with the S Pen. So you get things like translations, scribbling notes on the go with the screen off, You can do a whole lot with the S Pen, and that information is for another video, but that feature in itself is a deal maker or deal breaker for a lot of people. So if you want that S Pen, this is literally the only device on the market that will give you that, and then that completely puts the iPhone 8 Plus out of the market for you and puts the Note 8 directly on the table for you. Now, both of these devices also now support wireless charging. That works great. Is fast charging on both of these devices, and even the charging on both the iPhone 8 Plus and the Note 8 is fast charging capable. Even though the charging speeds on the Note 8 are equivalent to Quick Charge 2.0, the iPhone 8 Plus offers speeds equivalent to Quick Charge 3.0, but you need faster chargers that you need to buy separately that do not come in the box of the iPhone 8 Plus. In typical Apple fashion, you're also missing a 3.5mm headphone jack that is ideally and thankfully available on the Note 8, along with expandability using a micro SD card that we've never seen on an iPhone, and I highly doubt if an iPhone will ever come with expansion on the hardware. That's it for this video, guys. If you like this comparison, don't forget to smash and go crazy on that like button and hit that subscribe button to get more such videos from iGyaan on a timely manner and get notified each time we upload a new video. This has been Bharat. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one.